Hello there. It's Monday night. It's pub quiz night. Just back. We were leading going into the final round, but it was a music round that was largely 70s and 80s music, which didn't suit us very well. But anyway, you don't care about that. I'm here to talk to you about Smite. And Smite, we shall talk. Today's topic is going to be the visa situation for the remaining three teams that have European players on them, or European players that are stuck in Europe anyway, on them. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about, the situations for them and maybe some little things that a lot of people maybe haven't considered when it comes to getting the teams out to the US and getting them ready to play. So that's going to be it. That's going to be the topic for today. And then I guess I'll do a little predictions for next week's SPL games, next weekend's SPL games. Second last weekend of SPL. We've only got we got 3 days this weekend, and then I think 2 days the weekend after. And then we'll be going into the group stages. I also will be taking this Saturday off. Here's your pre-warning. I'm going to the Scotland-Israel match at Hampden. And it kicks off at 5 o'clock. So, the SPL normally starts at 6 my time. And I will be steaming by the time I would get home. So, not happening. Anyway, I'm sure you'd all like that. But not this time, okay? Maybe next time. Let's talk about the visa situations. The three teams that have European players stuck in Europe are Camelot Kings, the Only Warriors, and the Valhalla Valkyries. We're talking 2 players for the Kings, 2 players for the Warriors, and obviously 5 for the Valkyries plus their coach. Okay, let's talk first of all about the Kings. You got Big Man and Genetics. I have chatted to them, and they both have their interviews in London at the US Embassy on the 19th of October. And they are the team that's in the best spot when it comes to this because they rented a big house. They have a big house sitting there with a couple empty rooms that they have for accommodation. So everything that they really need is already in the US and sorted out for them. So as soon as those interviews on the 19th are hopefully navigated successfully and they have their visas, they can move over there and they have somewhere to live and they're in a good spot. So yeah, easy peasy for the Kings. Big Man and Genetics, I think, will just get these interviews done and move out ASAP. The only question mark, I suppose, which I think is okay to talk about, is Genetics has some healthcare issues. He is diabetic, and the comparative price for insulin in the US is obscene compared to here, and health insurance is expensive, and it's not covered by his player contract as far as I'm aware. So that's the only potential pitfall for that team. I don't imagine it'll be an issue. I think he'll probably just bite the bullet and pay for health insurance or pay for, I don't know, he'll figure it out. Fuck paid health care, by the way, just as an aside. Anyway, next up, Warriors. Warriors, we got Dardes and Cuvo Fred are the 2. Cuvo did have an interview, I think it was back in April or something like that. I did have the number before. I did have the date before, but apparently I didn't write it down. He already had his interview, but he was told that they couldn't give him his visa at the time. The embassy still actually has his passport, so I imagine he just needs to contact them, and when the travel ban, does it lift at the start of November rather? When the travel ban lifts or whatever, they'll give him his visa over, and he will be all good. Dardes's interview is scheduled for November 5th. Remember the 5th of November. Gunpowder, treason, and visas, as they say. That is how it goes, Guy Fawkes. It's weird that we have a rhyme about a guy who tried to blow up Parliament, but Dardes, November 5th. If you don't know what that is, look up Guy Fawkes night. I guess it's a fun hole to go down. Dardes will be November 5th. He'll have his interview in Paris, I imagine, which is where he lives. So not too far of a journey for him to get to his U.S. embassy he needs to go to. I think again the Warriors will get their visas fairly easily, but the problem is that they only have one house right now. The Warriors as a team, they have this house which has Vote, Neil, and Nika in it right now. I had a conversation with Neil briefly at some point, and he intimated that when Dardes and Cuvo get across, Neil and Cuvo will move in somewhere, and Dardes will move into the room which Neil's currently in. That was the overall agreement. I think Dardes has been paying rent for the majority of the year for this apartment that he unfortunately was unable to stay in because he can't get a visa, which sucks for him. But I mean, they agreed to do it, so that's kind of how it works. But yeah, the problem for the Warriors comes in, and they need to get accommodation for less than a year, which is a problem. They need to get housing for 2 people for however long. They do already have a house, so maybe they could just, long-term Airbnb it or something like that. But again, you've got all the different contracts that you need to get, like internet and phone contracts maybe, and all those sorts of things that are just annoying to deal with. And by the time they get there, it'll be at least November. They'll be leaving in January, I'd imagine. So a couple months is tough to get rental agreements and internet and things like that for such a short period of time. So that is a potential problem for the Warriors. Who it's even more of a problem for? The Valkyries. They have probably the biggest problem of all when it comes to that, because they have nobody settled in the US to kind of deal with these things and to sort out housing and to sort out contracts and to sign documents and stuff like that, and no proof of residence and all that good stuff that you love to talk about and you love to deal with. They've got it all, and they've got it all the worst. So hopefully, I'm hoping that Hi-Rez can help the teams out in some way. I know it's not easy for them either. I don't know if they could. I have no idea what they could do, honestly. I don't know what the best solution for this is, but I hope Hi-Rez can provide guidance, and if not, provide them with a place to stay, at least help them out with that. Valks and Warriors, the 2 teams that will be affected by this. Valkyries visa situation, Johnny has his, I believe. He's already got it, which is apparently Serbia too clean. You can get the Serbian, you can get the visa in Serbia. Why isn't everybody not just living there? Emil and Zeros are apparently both sending their passports off to the embassy at the moment. Emil tells me he's not sure if they will need interviews, if they'll actually need to go in, or if they'll just say that the info they've sent them is sufficient and grant them the visas. So could take a little bit of time. We're not sure. Ducky has told me his interview is on the 20th of October, so not too far away. It's 16 days from now. Today's the 4th. So 16 days from now, 2 weeks and a bit. And Ducky believes Raf is the same. I know Raf's interview was originally set for early next year, so I assume that's been moved forward. Hope so anyway. The Valks, yeah, again, I'll say it again. They don't have any housing. They don't have anybody in the US to sort things out for them, so they will have the biggest problems of all getting out there and getting settled. Again, the problem really comes down to rental agreements and finding somewhere that will house you when you're signing a contract that is, month by month, and you're only planning on staying for 2 months. It is difficult. Difficult to find places that are going to take you, to be honest. Most places want to take on a rental agreement of a year, from my experience. Thankfully, I live in Scotland, where that's now illegal. But I don't think it's illegal in the US. I don't know how easy it's going to be for the Warriors and the Valks to find that housing for the players they need to be. It might be they end up in Staybridge Suites. I don't know. Staybridge Suites is kind of a legendary place among the Smite Pro scene. We've all stayed there. We've all heard some stories from that hotel. It's surprising that they would even entertain the thought of still having Smite professional players in their hotel, given the state we've left it in, to be frank. But I say we. Not me. I didn't do anything wrong, all right? It was the others. It was all the others. But that might be a possibility. We might see something where players end up put up in hotels over long periods of time, maybe scrimming from the studio, stuff like that. I don't know. Got to consider how things are going to turn out, which would be really tough for them, especially if they're there over Christmas and they have to stay in hotels. But I mean, they're big boys, I guess. They could deal with one Christmas away from their families and, enjoy it together. Maybe get Zeros to dress up as Santa Claus and give out some gifts. I think that would be wonderful. It'd be wonderful. I'd like that. I'd like to be there. I'd rather be with my family on Christmas, but, as a second choice, Santa Claus Zeros might be okay. Anyway, I'm rambling. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover in the visa conversation. We're at 10 minutes. 10 minutes of rambling's not bad. I was going to do some quick predictions for next week. I guess I could quickly go over the results from last week as well and whether I was close on them. Let's have a look. Switch to this scene. Hello. I'm in the bottom right now. And I can even full screen it for you. I think I wasn't too bad on predictions, actually. So Friday 1st, I had this right, I imagine. Titans 2 over Valks. Bolts over Kings I had right as well, which is pretty funny, because I specifically said the Bolts and the Kings tend to subvert our expectations, and so I think the Bolts will win 2-0. And they did. And then I said the Bolts would lose the Leviathans. I might have said this was a 2-0 to Leviathans. I'm not sure if I said 2-0 or 2-1. I would have had 2-0 for Dragons over Scarabs, I imagine. So another correct result, but wrong scoreline. Scarabs over Valks, I had 2-0 for Scarabs. Again, Valks really should have won this set. It is criminal that they didn't. I don't know why they lost, honestly. I take no blame, is all I'm saying. But yeah, the Valks really showed up in this set, really played well, but their objective control lets them down. And then the Kings took down the Warriors 2-0. Not a convincing 2-0 by the Kings, but the Warriors are really looking like a much better team as of late. So a 2-0 over them is going to feel good either way, I think. And let's get on to this week. Starting off on Friday. Kings versus Dragons and Leviathans versus Warriors. I think this is a fun couple sets to watch. I'm going to say that the Dragons win, though. I'm going to say the Dragons win 2-1. I'm not too hot on either of these teams right now, honestly. I'm not too hot on anybody outside of the Leviathans, I think. Titans, I don't think, look like they did pre-patch. Dragons and Kings, I think, look not too convincing right now. I think the Leviathans are the only team that looks super convincing, but I'm going to say the Dragons win this 2-1. I think their style of play is good into the Kings. The Kings are a bit too passive for me. I think they're definitely exploitable in the way they play the map as well. How focused they are on Scorpions, I think, is punishable. And we've seen it recently around that Fire Giant Scorpion. You know the timers on which Twig is going to be there, and Twig's going to be trying to do that Scorp. And teams have started to punish it, which I think is good. Good coaching, good studying. I've got the Jade Dragons winning that. Leviathans versus Warriors, I think the Leviathans will win 2-0. And Leviathans are really, really strong right now. I would say they're the best team in the league. Warriors are definitely looking a lot better, though. They are. Neil's better in support. I think Cuvo has been consistently playing at a little bit of a higher level than he has been previously. I like the way he's playing a little bit more. Vote, I think, has been the big change for the Warriors between phase 1 and then first half of phase 2. I think the second half of phase 2 and the start of phase 3, Vote has really been playing extremely well for that team. Nika's his usual solid self, maybe slightly less impressive than he was in phase 1. Maybe that's just that, comparatively, I don't know, it's hard to say. When the rest of the map isn't doing as bad for the Warriors, but I've got Leviathans winning that. Did I say 2-0? I'm going to say 2-0, yeah. And then Saturday, this is the day I will miss. Kind of sucks, because Dragons versus Titans should be a great set. I'm going to give this to the Titans, 2-1. I think the Titans are currently in a decent spot. They could definitely get blown out here, though, randomly. It's one of those where they could randomly just get totally smashed. But I'm going to give it to them 2-1. I think if it goes to 3 games, the Titans probably win it. Bolts versus Scarabs. Bolts, I'm going to give this to... do the Scarabs lose 2-1 again? Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to say there's a 2-0 to the Bolts. I think the Bolts maybe come back with a bit of fire in their bellies and take that win. And then Sunday, Warriors versus Valks. I'm going to say 2-0 Warriors. Even though Valks have stepped it up lately, I think, again, it's going to be one of those things like we saw before when they beat the Warriors 2-0, when they had this Loki strat going on with the Neath mid. Now they've got the Loki strat going on with the Changa mids. I think teams are going to adjust their picks and bans. And they're going to... I don't know. I think the Valks after that probably run out of ideas. We'll see. But I've got Warriors 2-0. Leviathans versus Titans. I've got Leviathans 2-0. I think Leviathans take this and announce themselves as the best team in the SPL right now. If they win this, I feel like it's pretty definitive. Titans are pretty strong, but I think Leviathans have adjusted better to the new meta and are looking real good. And then we've only got 2 days left, Saturday 16th, Sunday 17th. Only a 2-day weekend. No Friday 15th games, so exciting times. Anyway, I think that's it for me, chat. I think that's it for me, YouTube. Remember to subscribe. I'm sure that a percent, you know how these YouTubers do that thing where they flash up the percent of people that are subscribed and that are not subscribed. Just pretend I did that. And act accordingly, obviously, which means subscribe. I just dropped a needle somewhere I was playing with, so that's not good. Where is it? I don't know. I'll find it in a second. Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think about the visa situation, I guess. I mean, I don't really know that there's too much to say on it now other than I'm just trying to get the info out there and trying to explain why it might not be as simple as getting the players out there as well. There's other hurdles that we still have to overcome. I think they're relatively they're definitely beatable hurdles for sure. So let's hope that we can get the players out there, we can get them playing on good ping, and we can make the Smite Pro League great again. That's what I want to happen. I want to get the players out there ASAP. So hopefully as soon as visas are sorted, we have some kind of housing situation that gets the players out there and we can get an all-land league. But we shall see. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. Hopefully I'll get another YouTube video out later this week of a just chatting thing. I still need to figure out who I'm even going to ask if they want to be on that. So I'm a little bit disorganized right now, but I'll figure it out. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. And yeah, I hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great Monday, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you on Friday and Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye.